My parents demanded I pay for the car my sister wrecked, the one I bought them. At dinner, they handed me the repair bill and a new car brochure for her, my mother snapping, "It's family duty." Their faces turned white when I slid over a folder and said, the text message from my sister lit up my phone screen like a bomb waiting to detonate. OMG, I totally crashed mom and dad's car. But don't worry, I'm fine, just a few scratches on me and the BMW lol. My name is Ainsley, and I'm the responsible daughter, the one who bought that BMW 6 months ago because our parents' old Honda was embarrassing them at church, the one who's been paying their mortgage since dad's business went under, the one who skipped her own dreams of grad school to support everyone else's. Did you see Paisley's text? Mom's call came exactly 3 minutes later. You'll help take care of this, right sweetie? You know your sister's still recovering from her spa weekend. I gripped my phone tighter, stomach churning. What exactly happened? Oh, she was just a little distracted, these things happen. But the car? Well, it doesn't look good. Your father's beside himself. Of course he was. Just last week at my birthday dinner, Dad had proudly announced how I was such a blessing for handling all the bills. Meanwhile, they'd gifted Paisley a designer handbag to match the one they'd bought her last month. I'm at work, Mom. I'll call you later. I hung up before she could protest. My best friend Naomi's head popped over our shared cubicle wall. Everything okay? You look like you're about to throw that phone through a window. Paisley crashed the car I bought them. I showed her the growing stream of family chat messages, Paisley sending crying emojis, Mom asking when I could look at repair quotes, Dad's stern "we need to discuss this as a family." Girl, no. Naomi shook her head. Tell them to use their insurance. They let it lapse last month. Guess who they asked to renew it? And did you? I pulled up my banking app, scrolling through recent transactions. It's scheduled for next week. I was waiting for my bonus. Ainsley, Naomi's voice dropped to a whisper, you can't keep doing this. You're not their ATM. I know, but did I? Last Christmas I drained my savings to cover Paisley's credit card debt. In March it was new appliances for Mom and Dad. Every month brought a fresh emergency, a new crisis only I could solve. My phone buzzed again, a photo from Paisley, the BMW's crumpled front end, followed by a string of sobbing emojis. Need you, sis. Don't know what I'd do without you. I stared at the screen, remembering last week's birthday dinner. I'd arrived late after a client meeting, still in my work clothes. Mom had barely looked up from fussing over Paisley's new highlights. Sorry we didn't get you anything, sweetie, she'd said, passing me a slice of store-bought cake. But you understand, right? Paisley needed that bag for her Instagram. I'd nodded, swallowed my pride along with the dry cake, just like I always did. Earthed to Ainsley, Naomi snapped her fingers. Your sister's calling. I declined the call, opened my bottom drawer instead, pulling out a worn leather notebook. What's that? Something I started 6 months ago. I flipped it open, revealing neat columns of dates and dollar amounts, every loan, every gift, every guilt trip. I've been keeping track. Naomi's eyes widened. That's a lot of money. Yeah. I added today's date, drew a thick line underneath. And I think I'm done. My phone lit up again, a group text from Mom, family meeting tonight, Ainsley. We need to discuss your sister's future. She's very fragile right now. Naomi read over my shoulder. Please tell me you're not going. I thought about my notebook, about the promotion I'd turned down because it would mean less time for family obligations, about Barrett, the guy I'd been dating until Paisley's latest crisis demanded all my attention. Oh, I'm going. I tucked the notebook into my bag. But this time I'm bringing receipts. What are you planning? I smiled, feeling something shift inside me, like a door finally closing, or maybe opening. Let's just say I'm done being the family ATM. They want a meeting? Fine. But they're not going to like what I have to say. My phone buzzed one last time. Paisley again, found the perfect replacement car. Can't wait to show you tonight. You're the best sister ever. I turned my phone face down, opened my laptop, and started typing. If they wanted to talk numbers, I had 28 years worth ready to go. Naomi watched me with growing concern. You okay? No, I admitted, but I will be. I knew something was wrong the moment I walked into my parents' house. The living room lights were dimmed, and everyone was already seated, Mom, Dad, and Paisley arranged in a perfect semicircle like a firing squad. Honey, sit down. Mom patted the empty armchair facing them. We've been waiting. I remain standing. I have an early meeting tomorrow. Can we make this quick? This is important, Ainsley. Dad's voice carried that familiar stern tone, the one that used to make me snap to attention. Your sister needs you. Paisley sniffled right on cue, dabbing at her eyes with her monogrammed handkerchief I'm pretty sure I'd paid for. I just feel so awful about everything. Show her, Jack, Mom urged. Dad pulled out a thick manila envelope. These are the repair estimates for the BMW, nearly $30,000 in damage. He spread the papers across the coffee table. And that's not counting Paisley's medical bills. Medical bills? I looked at my sister, who hadn't shown a single scratch at dinner 2 nights ago. Whiplash, she whispered dramatically. The doctor says I need extensive therapy and maybe a massage chair for home treatment. We've been looking at options, Mom jumped in, producing a glossy car brochure. Since the BMW is probably totaled and Paisley needs something safe and reliable. I picked up the brochure. A brand new Mercedes gleamed on the cover. You can't be serious. Now, Ainsley. Dad's voice hardened. Family takes care of family. You've always understood that. Have I? I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. Let's talk about family then. Should we start with the mortgage payments, or Paisley's 3 maxed out credit cards? That's different, Paisley shot up. You're just jealous because. Because what? I cut her off. Because I work 60 hours a week while you post Instagram stories? Because I haven't taken a vacation in 3 years, but you needed first-class tickets to Cabo. Don't speak to your sister that way, Mom snapped. She's been through a trauma. A trauma she caused by texting while driving in a car I bought that she wasn't insured to drive. Dad stood up, towering over me. We raised you better than this selfishness. Did you? I pulled out my notebook. Let's review exactly how you raised us. Put that away, Mom's voice shook. This isn't about the past. Actually, it is. I flipped through pages of transactions. Every guilt trip, every manipulation, every time you chose her over me, it's all here. Paisley lunged for the notebook. I stepped back, watching her stumble. Careful of your whiplash, I said dryly. You're horrible. She burst into tears. Mom, Dad, make her help me. Of course we will, sweetie. Mom rushed to comfort her. Ainsley's just tired from work. She'll come around. No. The word felt strange in my mouth, foreign, but freeing. I won't. What did you say? Dad's face reddened. I said no. No to the car, no to the medical bills, no to all of it. You can't do this to me. Paisley shrieked. I already told everyone about the Mercedes. Of course you did. I headed for the door. But that's not my problem anymore. If you walk out that door, Dad called after me, don't bother coming back. I turned, met his gaze. Is that supposed to be a threat? You've been taking from me for years. What exactly would I be losing? Your family, Mom cried. We're your family. No. I clutched my notebook tighter. You're my burden. And I'm done carrying it. Paisley's voice followed me down the hallway. You'll regret this. You're nothing without us. I stepped outside, inhaled deeply. My phone buzzed, Naomi checking in. How'd it go? They showed their true colors. I started my car, watched the porch light flicker behind me. You free for coffee? I could use a friend right now. Already at our spot. Got your favorite waiting. I pulled away from the curb, ignoring the growing stream of texts lighting up my phone, Mom's guilt trips, Dad's threats, Paisley's accusations. For the first time in years, none of it touched me. Another text came through, this one from Ela, Paisley's best friend, just heard what happened. For what it's worth, P's been bragging about test driving luxury cars all week, said you'd never say no to her. Thought you should know. I wasn't surprised, just tired, so tired of being the responsible one, the reliable one, the one they all took for granted. But not anymore. I touched the notebook on my passenger seat, feeling its weight, the weight of years of receipts, records, and resentment. They wanted to talk numbers. Fine. I had a feeling they wouldn't like the final tally. $87,422, I said, spreading the papers across Naomi's kitchen table. That's just from the last 2 years. Naomi choked on her coffee. You kept all these receipts. Every single one. I sorted them into neat piles, credit card payments, car loans, mortgage assistance, emergency shopping trips. Emergency shopping trips. Paisley's definition of emergency is very broad. I held up a receipt. Like this one, 3,000 at Nordstrom because she had nothing to wear to a brunch. My phone buzzed for the 100th time. Mom again. Your sister's crying herself sick. How can you be so cruel? Turn it off, Naomi suggested. But another call came through, a number I hadn't seen in months. Barrett. My hand shook slightly as I answered. Hey, Ames. His voice was warm, familiar. Heard through the grapevine you finally stood up to them. News travels fast in a small town. He paused. Remember that conversation we had about the MBA program in Boston? I did. It was the night before I canceled my application, right after Paisley's first credit card crisis. Barrett had begged me not to give up my dreams. I promised him it was just temporary. That was 18 months ago. He'd moved on shortly after, tired of competing with my family's constant emergencies. The application deadline for next spring is coming up, he said quietly. Barrett, just think about it. You're free now, right? Before I could answer, my phone beeped with another call. I have to go. It's my lawyer. Your lawyer? Barrett and Naomi spoke simultaneously. I switched calls. Hi, Sandra. Yes, I have all the documentation ready. Tomorrow at 2. Perfect. Naomi raised an eyebrow as I hung up. A lawyer? Getting serious, aren't we? I'm done playing games. I pulled up my email, showing her the draft I'd been working on. This is a formal notice severing all financial ties. Once it's filed, they can't touch my accounts or use my credit for anything. They can do that? They've been using my information for years. Dad opened 3 credit cards in my name for emergencies, which apparently include Paisley's spring break trips. My phone lit up with a text from Hila, you need to see this. She'd sent a screenshot of Paisley's private Instagram story, a photo of a silver Mercedes with the caption, coming soon. Big sis always comes through. The audacity, Naomi whispered. She posted that after you said no? I felt something snap inside me. After I explicitly told them no. Ainsley. Naomi grabbed my hands. Breathe. I am breathing. I pulled away, started gathering the receipts. I'm breathing just fine, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of people they are. What are you planning? The truth. I opened my laptop. Every receipt, every manipulation, every lie, all of it. They'll hate you for this. They already hate me. At least now they'll have a reason. My phone buzzed again. Dad, this time, your mother's blood pressure is through the roof. Is that what you wanted? To make her sick with worry. I showed Naomi the message. See? It's already starting. The guilt trips, the health scares, the emotional manipulation. Classic narcissist playbook, she agreed. I started typing, my fingers flying over the keyboard. Every transaction, every broken promise, every time they'd chosen Paisley over me, the words poured out like poison from a wound. Barrett texted again, whatever you're planning, I'm in your corner. Always was. Something warm flickered in my chest, hope, maybe, or possibility. I hadn't felt either in so long. You know what the worst part is? I looked up at Naomi. I actually believed them. Every time they said just this once or we'll pay you back or family helps family. I wanted so badly to be the good daughter. You were too good, she said softly. That's why they took advantage. My phone chimed with an email notification, Sandra confirming tomorrow's appointment, with a note, bring all documentation. We'll make sure they can't touch you again. I saved my draft, closed my laptop. The stack of receipts seemed smaller now, less overwhelming. Just paper, after all. Just numbers that had once felt like chains. What about the MBA program? Naomi asked carefully. I thought about Barrett's call, about all the dreams I'd put on hold, about the life I could have had. Might still have. One thing at a time, I said. But I pulled up the application website anyway, just to look, just to remember what it felt like to want something for myself. My phone lit up one last time. Paisley had tagged me in a post about toxic family members and jealous sisters. I smiled, screenshot it, and added it to my evidence folder. Let her dig her own grave. I had receipts for the shovel. These records are meticulous, Sandra said, flipping through my notebook. Most clients don't come this prepared. I sat straight-backed in her office, watching her review the documents. I've had practice keeping track. I can see that. She held up a bank statement. And you say they opened these credit cards without your permission? Dad said it was for emergencies. I didn't realize what that meant until the bills started coming. Sandra made notes on her legal pad. This is identity theft, Ainsley. We could press charges. I don't want to send them to jail. I twisted my hands in my lap. I just want them to stop. Sometimes the threat is enough. She pulled out a thick document. This cease and desist letter will make our position clear. Once served, any attempt to access your finances will have serious legal consequences. My phone buzzed. Mom's text read, "Family dinner Saturday. Non-negotiable. We need to discuss your attitude." I showed Sandra the message. They're not going to make this easy. They never do. She started typing. But we'll be ready. The door opened and her assistant brought in more papers. "Miss Morrison, your mother's on line 1. Says it's urgent. Block the number," Sandra instructed. All communication goes through me now. I left the office an hour later with a folder full of legal documents and a strange lightness in my chest. On the street, a familiar voice called out, "Ainsley, wait up." Ela jogged toward me, looking uncomfortable. "Can we talk?" We found a nearby coffee shop. Ela fidgeted with her cup, avoiding my eyes. "Paisley doesn't know I'm here," she blurted, "but you need to know what she's planning." "Let me guess, more social media drama?" "Worse." Ela pulled out her phone. "She's telling everyone you stole from your parents, that you're the reason they might lose their house." I laughed, surprising us both. She's not entirely wrong. I am stopping payments on their mortgage. It's more than that. Ela showed me screenshots of private messages. She's contacted your work, your clients. She's trying to ruin you. Of course she is. I took a sip of coffee. That's what narcissists do when they lose control. I never realized. Ela looked down. "I always thought you were just the mean older sister, the way Paisley told it. That's how manipulation works." I pulled out my own phone, showed her the records. "Want to see the real story?" An hour later, Ela sat back, stunned. "Holy shit. The car, the credit cards, the mortgage. How did you survive this?" "By keeping records." I gathered my papers. "And now by ending it." My phone lit up. "Barrett again, heard about Saturday's dinner. You're not going alone, right?" Before I could respond, another text came through. "Dad, your sister's in tears. Your mother can't sleep. Is this the daughter we raised?" "No," I muttered, typing back. "This is the daughter who finally woke up." Ela read the exchange over my shoulder. "They're really good at making you feel guilty. They had years of practice." I stood up. But not anymore. Outside, the autumn air was crisp with possibility. My phone buzzed with a notification. Paisley had posted again, a tearful selfie captioned, "Family betrayal cuts deep. Hashtag pray for toxic sisters. Hashtag narcissistic abuse." I screenshot it, sent it to Sandra, then blocked my sister's account. "What are you going to do about Saturday?" Ela asked. I smiled. "I'm going to give them exactly what they want, a family discussion. With receipts." Back at my apartment, I found a package waiting. Inside was a Boston University course catalog with a post-it note from Barrett, "It's never too late to choose yourself." I was reading through the MBA requirements when Naomi called. "Your mom just tried to friend me on Facebook," she said, "and your dad left a voicemail about talking sense into you. They're getting desperate." I opened my laptop, pulled up the cease and desist letter. "Good. Are you sure about Saturday? You could just not go." "No." I started typing, my fingers steady on the keys. "They wanted a meeting. They'll get one. But this time I'm setting the agenda." My phone lit up with another message. Paisley had created a group chat with extended family. "Pray for my sister. Something's wrong with her." I added the screenshot to my growing file, then turned back to my laptop. The words flowed easily now, years of suppressed truth finding their voice. Let them plot and plan. Let them spin their stories and play their games. I had something better than manipulation, I had proof. And on Saturday, they'd learn exactly what that meant. "You look like you're going to war," Naomi said, watching me get ready for dinner. "Not a family meal." "Same thing, isn't it?" I smoothed down my black blazer, checked my reflection. "Professional. Untouchable. Perfect." My phone buzzed with updates from Ela. "Your mom's been cooking all day. Paisley's here too, practicing her crying face in the bathroom." "Of course she is." I picked up my briefcase, not the usual folder, but a proper leather case filled with documents. "How's the audience?" "Full house." Your Aunt Maria is here, Uncle Pete, even your cousin Sarah flew in. Exactly as I'd expected. They'd gathered reinforcements, prepared their stage, set their trap. Too bad I'd seen it coming. Barrett called as I was heading out. Still want me on standby? Just in case. I locked my apartment door. But I need to do this alone. You're not alone, he said quietly. Not anymore. I touched the acceptance letter in my briefcase, the one from Boston University, already signed and ready to mail. I know. Naomi walked me to my car. Remember the signal if you need an emergency exit, 3 quick texts. But I won't need it. I started the engine. This ends tonight. The drive to my parents' house was familiar, too familiar. How many times had I made this trip, rushing to solve another crisis, fix another problem, empty another account? Never again. I parked behind Aunt Maria's SUV, noting the full driveway. 7 cars. 7 witnesses to whatever show my family had planned. Ela met me at the door. They're all in the dining room. Your mom made your favorite pasta. No, she made Paisley's favorite pasta and pretended it was mine. I straightened my shoulders. Like always. The house smelled of garlic and manipulation. Voices drifted from the dining room, Paisley's dramatic sniffles, Mom's concerned murmurs, Dad's controlled anger. There she is, Aunt Maria called as I entered. We've been so worried about you, dear. I took in the scene they'd arranged, the seating perfectly orchestrated. Paisley at the head of the table, looking fragile in an oversized sweater. Mom and Dad flanking her like guards. The relatives spread out strategically, ready to pile on. Ainsley. Dad's voice carried that familiar warning tone. Sit down. We need to talk. Yes, I set my briefcase on the table. We do. Sweetie. Mom reached for my hand. I stepped back. We're all here because we love you. We're worried about your behavior. My behavior? I smiled. Let's talk about behavior. Don't start, Paisley whimpered. I can't take any more of your cruelty. I opened my briefcase, removed the first document. Interesting choice of words. Let's discuss cruelty. Now listen here, Uncle Pete started, but I cut him off. No, you listen. I placed the paper in front of him. That's a credit report showing 3 cards opened in my name without my consent. Federal crime, by the way. That was for family emergencies. Dad stood up. Like these. I pulled out more papers, Paisley's spa weekends, her shopping sprees, the car she crashed while texting. Stop it. Paisley wailed. Mom, Dad, make her stop. I'm just getting started. I laid out document after document, bank statements, mortgage payments, text messages showing systematic manipulation and emotional abuse. Aunt Maria picked up a statement, gasped. Jack, these amounts. Family helps family, Mom repeated weakly. Does family file false credit applications? I produced the legal documents. Does family drain their daughter's accounts while funding another's luxury lifestyle? You ungrateful, Dad lunged for the papers. I pulled them back. Careful. My lawyer has copies of everything. The room went silent. Paisley's fake tears dried up instantly. Lawyer, Mom whispered. Sandra sends her regards. She's very interested in the identity theft angle. You wouldn't, Paisley hissed. We're family. No. I placed the cease and desist letter in the center of the table. We're done. Ainsley, Uncle Pete looked pale. Surely we can discuss this. I've got an MBA acceptance letter in here too. I patted my briefcase. And a new job offer in Boston. Boston. Mom's voice cracked. But who will take care of? Not my problem anymore. I stood up. The letter explains everything. Any attempt to access my accounts will result in legal action. Any harassment will be documented. You can't do this to us, Paisley shrieked. Watch me. I walked toward the door, stopped, turned back. Oh, and Paisley? The Mercedes dealership called. They're wondering about that down payment you promised. Good luck with that. The explosion behind me was spectacular, Paisley's screams, Mom's sobs, Dad's threats. But I didn't look back. My phone buzzed as I reached my car. Barrett, done? Done, I replied, feeling lighter than I had in years. Want to get coffee and help me apartment hunt in Boston? The future stretched out before me, wide open and gloriously free of family obligations. Time to start living it. The fallout was nuclear. Within hours, my phone exploded with messages from relatives I hadn't heard from in years. Cousin Sarah called me heartless. Uncle Pete demanded explanations. Aunt Maria switched sides hourly, torn between shock at my parents' actions and horror at my betrayal. Your mother's in the hospital, Dad texted at midnight. I hope you're happy. I showed Barrett the message over coffee the next morning. Right on schedule. The medical emergency card. Is she really in the hospital? Probably just went to urgent care for her blood pressure again. I stirred my latte. It's their favorite tactic when guilt trips fail. My phone lit up with Isla's call. You need to see this. Paisley's lost it. She sent me a screen recording of Paisley's Instagram live. My sister, mascara artfully smeared, was spinning a dramatic tale of abandonment and abuse. My own sister, she sobbed to her followers. She's trying to destroy our family after everything we've done for her. Everything they've done for you? Barrett scoffed. That's rich. Wait for it, I said. Right on cue, Paisley pulled out a GoFundMe link. My parents might lose their house because of her. If anyone can help. Wow, Barrett whistled. She works fast. Not fast enough. I forwarded the video to Sandra. Fraud is still fraud, even on Go. Fund me. My phone buzzed again, Mom calling from an unknown number. I declined it. You okay? Barrett reached across the table. Better than okay. I pulled out my laptop, showed him the Boston apartment listings I'd bookmarked. I'm free. A commotion outside the coffee shop caught our attention. Through the window, I saw Paisley storming toward the entrance, Ela trying to hold her back. Incoming, Barrett warned. The door chimed. Paisley burst in, face red. How dare you? Other customers turned to stare. I kept my voice level. This is a public place, Paisley. Let's not make a scene. A scene? She laughed hysterically. You want to talk about scenes? Mom's in the hospital because of you. Urgent care or emergency room this time? You think this is funny? She slammed her hands on our table. They're freezing the accounts. The mortgage payment bounced. That tends to happen when you stop paying them. They'll lose everything. No. I corrected. They'll lose what they never earned. There's a difference. Ela finally caught up, looking apologetic. I tried to stop her. It's fine. I started packing up my laptop. We were just leaving. To go where? Paisley blocked my path. To Boston. Running away like a coward? Actually, I'm meeting with the fraud department at the bank. I checked my watch. Want to come? We can discuss those credit cards Dad opened in my name. The color drained from her face. You wouldn't. Try me. We're family, she whispered, but the words sounded hollow now. Family doesn't steal from family. I shouldered my bag. Family doesn't manipulate and gaslight and drain their daughter's accounts for 28 years. I'll tell everyone what you did. You mean what you did? I pulled out my phone, played a video, Paisley bragging to Ela about manipulating me for money. I've got receipts for everything, sis. Want to compare notes? She turned to Ela, betrayal in her eyes. You recorded me? Someone had to tell the truth, Ela said quietly. Paisley's face crumpled, real tears this time, not the performative ones she was famous for. What am I supposed to do now? Get a job, Barrett suggested. Like everyone else. My phone buzzed with another update from Sandra. GoFundMe has been reported and removed. Your parents are attempting to dispute the cease and desist. Would you like to proceed with legal action? I showed Paisley the message. Ball's in your court, sis. Keep pushing and I'll push back harder. You've ruined everything, she spat. No. I met her gaze steadily. I just stopped letting you ruin me. She stormed out, nearly knocking over a barista. Ela lingered. The Mercedes dealership called her this morning, she said. She'd already picked out custom features. Not my problem anymore. I turned to Barrett. Ready to look at apartments? He grinned. Lead the way. Outside, my phone lit up with notifications. Paisley had posted again, but the comments weren't what she expected. People were asking questions, poking holes in her story. The truth was spreading. You know they'll never forgive you, Barrett said as we walked to his car. Good. I deleted the family group chat without reading the latest messages. Because I'll never forget. The morning sun felt warm on my face, or maybe that was just the feeling of freedom. Either way, I wasn't looking back. Let them rage and plot and play victim. I had a life to build, and for the first time, it was going to be mine alone. The bank meeting was interrupted by a commotion in the lobby. Through the glass walls of the conference room, I watched my father being escorted out by security, his face purple with rage. Well, Sandra said dryly, that was predictable. The fraud investigator, Marcus, shuffled his papers. Should we continue? Please. I straightened in my chair. He's just proving my point. My phone vibrated. Aunt Maria had posted a lengthy Facebook status about family loyalty and ungrateful children. The comments section was a battlefield between relatives taking sides. These credit card applications, Marcus held up several documents, they're clearly forged. Your father didn't even try to match your signature. He didn't think he had to. I showed him the text messages. See? Family emergency. That was his excuse for everything. Sandra's assistant knocked and entered. Ms. Morrison, your sister's outside with a police officer. She's claiming theft. Perfect timing. Sandra pulled out another file. Let's invite them in. Paisley strutted in, flanked by a tired-looking officer. Her confidence faltered when she saw the bank's legal team. This woman stole from our parents, she announced, pointing at me. I want her arrested. Interesting accusation. Sandra spread out the credit card statements. Officer, would you like to see who actually committed fraud? The officer reviewed the documents, his expression darkening. Miss, these cards were opened fraudulently in your sister's name. That's not, Paisley's voice cracked. Daddy said it was legal. Your father lied. Marcus pushed forward more papers. We have evidence of systematic financial abuse spanning years. Paisley's phone buzzed. She checked it, went pale. The Mercedes dealership is threatening to sue. Not my problem, I gathered my documents. Neither are Mom's hospital bills. She's really sick this time, Paisley insisted. The stress of getting caught, Sandra interjected. Let's be accurate. The officer cleared his throat. Ma'am, do you want to press charges? I looked at Paisley, really looked at her. My little sister, the golden child, now trembling in her designer clothes that I'd probably paid for. Not yet. I stood up. Consider this a warning, Paisley. Walk away now, or the next meeting will be in court. You can't do this, but her voice had lost its certainty. What about Mom and Dad? Their house. They have options. I headed for the door. They can sell the house, get jobs, live within their means like normal people. We're not normal people. We're family. I turned back. No. We're strangers who share DNA. And that's not enough anymore. Outside the bank, Barrett was waiting. How'd it go? Dad got escorted out. Paisley tried to have me arrested. Mom's supposedly dying in the hospital again. I checked my phone. Oh, and Aunt Maria's calling me Satan on Facebook. So better than expected. Actually, yes. I showed him the email from Boston University. My deposit's been accepted. Classes start in January. Look at you, planning a future. He smiled. Want to celebrate? My phone lit up with an unknown number, Mom calling from yet another line. I declined it, then blocked it. You know what? Yes. I took Barrett's hand. Let's celebrate. We were halfway to dinner when Ela called, panicked. They're at your apartment, your parents and Paisley. They're causing a scene. Good thing I'm not there. I'd seen this coming, moved my important documents to a safety deposit box days ago. Are the police involved? Your neighbor called them. Paisley's screaming about family betrayal. Your mom's having another episode. Record everything, I instructed. Sandra will need it. Barrett squeezed my hand. You're handling this really well. I've had years of practice. I turned off my phone. And now I'm done practicing. Over dinner, we planned my move to Boston, new apartment, new city, new life. No more emergency calls, no more guilt trips, no more draining my accounts to fund someone else's dreams. They'll try to follow you, Barrett warned. Let them try. I sipped my wine. I've got restraining orders ready to file. My backup phone, the one only Sandra and Naomi had the number 2, buzzed with an update. The police had cleared my apartment. Dad was cited for disturbing the peace. Mom's episode miraculously resolved once the ambulance arrived. Paisley was posting dramatic selfies from my building's parking lot. Want to know the crazy part? I showed Barrett the latest family group text, forwarded by Ela. They still think they can fix this, that I'll cave if they push hard enough. Will you? No. I pulled out the Boston acceptance letter, ran my fingers over the embossed logo. I'm choosing me this time. Outside, the city lights sparkled with possibility. My phone would be full of threats and guilt trips tomorrow, but for now, I was free. Sometimes the best revenge isn't what you do to others, it's what you finally do for yourself. And I was just getting started. Your apartment's ready, Barrett said, setting down the last box in my new Boston living room. How does freedom feel? Before I could answer, my backup phone buzzed. Naomi's text read, "You need to see this." She'd sent a link to Paisley's latest Instagram post, a tearful video filmed in our parents' kitchen. The furniture was gone, replaced by stacked moving boxes. "They're really selling the house," I murmured. "Actions have consequences," Barrett said. "Even for them." My laptop pinged with an email from Sandra, "Cease and desist successful. Credit fraud investigation proceeding. Your parents are requesting a meeting." "No," I typed back. They had 28 years of meetings. Ela called next. "Your mom's telling everyone you abandoned them, but people are asking questions now, about the credit cards, the missing money, everything. Let them ask." I unpacked my coffee maker, the first purchase I'd made just for me. The truth was always there. They just didn't want to see it. "Paisley got rejected for an apartment today," Ela continued. "Bad credit. She's freaking out." "Imagine that," I said dryly. "Actions having consequences." Barrett helped me arrange my new furniture, all simple, practical pieces I'd chosen myself. No gilt mirrors like Mom preferred, no designer labels like Paisley demanded. Just clean lines and clear boundaries. My work phone lit up with a message from my new boss in Boston. "Team's excited to meet you Monday. Corner office is ready." Speaking of consequences, Barrett nodded at my phone. "Some are pretty good." A knock at the door made us both freeze. I checked the security camera I'd installed. Just Naomi, carrying champagne. "Housewarming time." She breezed in, hugging me. "Also, updates from home. Want the highlight reel?" I poured 3 glasses. "Hit me." "Your parents are downsizing to a rental. Dad's interviewing for jobs. Mom's selling her designer bags on eBay." Naomi ticked off points on her fingers. "Paisley's moving in with them, throwing daily tantrums about having to share a bathroom. And the relatives. Aunt Maria found the credit card statements you posted. She's not calling you Satan anymore." Naomi grinned. "Actually, she's asking if you'll look at her finances too. Apparently Uncle Pete's been managing them for years." My laptop pinged again, an email from the MBA program director welcoming me to the spring cohort. Attached was my class schedule, my future laid out in neat academic blocks. "Remember when they said you'd fail without them?" Barrett picked up my acceptance letter. "Looks like you're succeeding because of their absence." My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Dad, the house sells next week. Your mother's heartbroken. Please, Ainsley, we can fix this." I showed Barrett and Naomi the message. "Should I respond? What would you say?" Naomi asked. I thought about it, about 28 years of fixing their problems, about Paisley's tears and Mom's guilt trips and Dad's stern demands of family duty. "Nothing," I decided, blocking the number. "I've said everything I needed to say." "To us, you haven't," Barrett pointed out. "How are you really feeling?" I looked around my new apartment, my space, my choices, my life. "Lighter," I said finally. "Like I can breathe." Naomi raised her glass. "To breathing. To consequences," Barrett added. "To me," I said, and meant it. My backup phone chimed one last time, Ela sending another update. Paisley had posted again, but the comments weren't sympathetic anymore. People were sharing similar stories of family financial abuse, of breaking free, of choosing themselves. "You started something," Naomi noted. "A conversation. Good." I closed my laptop, silencing the last echoes of my old life. Maybe someone else will read it and realize they're not alone, that they can escape to. Barrett pulled me close. "Ready for your fresh start?" Through the window, Boston's skyline glittered with possibility. My new job waited, my classes would begin, my life, my real life, was finally starting. "Actually," I said, "I think I started fresh the moment I stopped letting them drain me dry." Naomi topped off our glasses. "2 fresh starts, then." "To freedom," Barrett added. I looked at my phone one last time, at the blocked numbers and ignored messages and severed connections. At the price of freedom and the weight of chains finally broken. "To truth," I said, and turned off my phone. Outside, the city hummed with energy. Inside, my apartment slowly came together, each piece chosen by me, for me. No guilt, no manipulation, no false obligations. Just peace. And really, that was the best revenge of all.